Well, welcome everyone. My name is Dane Kopke. I'm actually from Green Beacon Solutions. Welcome to today's sessions for MS Dynamics World on gaining efficiencies by integrating your Microsoft Dynamics ERP system with your Microsoft Dynamics CRM. Again, my name is Dane Kopke. I'm here at Green Beacon Solutions. We are I'm part of a company that specializes in both Dynamics ERP and CRM. So I've been asked to present today on a presentation I normally give at Convergence, as well as user group sessions for both AX and CRM and other ERP products. So thank you for joining us today. A couple of things logistically before we begin. We are on WebEx. If you have any problem with WebEx, please email MS Dynamics World or Jason, and he'll be able to help you with that. Hopefully everybody can hear me. At this point, we did have some issues with some of the teleconference information, as well as what's going on there, but hopefully everybody can hear me fine. It looks like I'm coming through on the system, so that's good. If you want to maximize your screen view, it's probably the best way to see what's going on. So the resolution might be different on certain computers, but do maximize your screen just to increase your viewing pleasure as well. And if you have any questions during today's session, you can save them to the end where we'll be able to open up the lines, I believe. If not, there is a Q&A console available to you within the WebEx application where you can type in questions, and either I'll answer them in the end, or if I have time during the presentation, I'll take a time out to kind of look at some of the Q&A if they're relevant to some of the stuff I'm speaking at the time that you ask the question. So again, welcome to today's session on Microsoft Dynamics ERP and Microsoft Dynamics CRM and gaining efficiencies by integrating both of those systems. So a couple things I want to talk about around some of the session goals today and what we're going to be really approaching for people on the phone. So we're going to demonstrate the value of an end-to-end CRM system with ERP Dynamics. Talk a little bit about, I'm actually going to show Dynamics CRM in action for those who have never seen it, and talk about some of the values it may bring to your current Dynamics ERP implementation. We're also going to start to try to understand the extensive capabilities of Dynamics CRM. Or talk about some of the ways that it really can scale the three classic areas of CRM: sales, marketing, and customer service for your company. And we're going to talk about some tangible benefits that you can use in your own business case internally to really look at why not Dynamics CRM is a great solution to integrate with your current ERP system. So the agenda is we're going to talk about the case for what we call one enterprise system between Dynamics ERP and CRM. We're going to talk about Dynamics CRM, specifically 2011, which is the current version that's out from Microsoft. We're going to talk about the Microsoft Dynamics connector, but more about connecting options technically that you connect your ERP system to Dynamics CRM. And then really the business value, like we discussed, around why or why not you would do this, specifically for your own business case, and give you some ideas about what you might want to take back to you after this call within your organization. And of course, some Q&A. So let's discuss the case for one enterprise system. Here's some of the reasons why you might be on the phone today and listening to me this morning or this afternoon. You might have some field sales employees. You're using ERP today, but you have people that are in the field. They're either traveling, they're on the plane, they'll be working remotely from you, and they're not really in the office all the time. You might have a lot of different ways that you market. You can do multi-channel marketing. You're not just doing direct mailings anymore. You're trying to do logistics around events. You might do trade events. You might do shows. You might do direct mail, snail mail, email. You might do skywriting in pigeons. Whatever you're doing from a diverse marketing initiative, you really want to capture that and know the value to your company. You might utilize a dedicated support staff, either a call center environment or some dedicated support staff to manage your products and services, post-implementation or post-purchase from your customers. Some other reasons that your employees might be asking for that may have prompted you to come here today is, in sales, of course, you want a more accurate pipeline. Well, we can't get an accurate pipeline until we actually have accurate information about what's going on in our pipeline. So you might want more visibility to really have a reporting tool, or obviously, ideally, have the data supporting that reporting tool so you can make business decisions about your growth and your opportunities based on your sales pipeline. Again, you want to understand that better marketing spend. Make strategic decisions around which events and which campaigns are more effective or less effective based on their return on investment and their cost. Really be able to do an analysis on that. You want to track service resolutions. You want to be able to use a knowledge base. You want to be able to see how quickly you're responding to customer issues, how expensive they're getting for you, and how your employees are adjusting to needs that your customers are asking for, so that you can make future decisions about either your products and services to minimize those support needs. So let's kick off kind of the major part of the conversation today, which is about Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2011. Just for a brief history there, Microsoft Dynamics CRM has been around since about 2002. It is now in its 5th iteration of the product. There was 1.0, there was 1.2, there was 3.0, there was 4.0, and then recently last January, they released Dynamics CRM 2011, which is the newest version of Microsoft Dynamics CRM out there. And I believe, actually, at this point, they're on roll-up 11, so there have been 11 separate roll-ups even since last January. So always adding functionality to the product, a lot quicker than most of their ERP packages are adding products. So it's run a little differently from that standpoint. To give you that background as well, you may have Dynamics GP or NAV or SL or AX internally, and those products are run within the Microsoft Business Solutions or Dynamics team, and that R&D is done within that team. Yes, it's called Microsoft Dynamics CRM, but the CRM product is actually in the Office R&D team at Microsoft. So you can imagine how that changes both the product positioning and how it's developed, and also how it's managed, where it's actually run with the same people that run Word, Excel, and Exchange, not the people that run AX and GP and NAV. So do recognize that when we go through some of the processes today and some of the topics that we're going to cover. Before I get into some of the details, I just want to take a pause here. For those people on the phone, many of you who are involved in your ERP selection process for your current Dynamics system. You may remember when you were in those conversations about criteria that you'd set up as a team to discuss how you would evaluate certain vendors coming in and deciding which solution to go with. And obviously you decided on Dynamics, but you used certain criteria: functionality, price, scalability, familiarity in the marketplace, references, a whole bunch of criteria. Well, you use similar criteria when you're talking about CRM. However, in 95% of the opportunities we've been involved in our company, there are those criteria, and people have different priorities in their criteria, but in 95% of the cases, the number one criteria, which is not only important in the selection, but important in the actual success of the implementation, is usability. For those that have been around the CRM market for quite a while, you may remember Siebel and Onyx and Pivotal in the late 90s. Which were, obviously more expensive at this point, but larger CRM systems that were more comprehensive and really often very expensive to put in. Nowadays, the competitor base for CRM is a lot smaller, but again, it's a lot more, focused on making applications usable directly, not so much out of the box, but closer out of the box than you were with your ERP implementation, around getting customers or getting employees to use the system. Especially on the sales side. The world's most popular ERP and CRM system is called Microsoft Excel. And so you'll have your salespeople always working on deals, and we don't like to put information in. We don't like to share information. We don't like to have to dive in and spend time in the system. And again, the CEO is not going to yell at me when I bring a $500,000 deal that was never in a pipeline or written down somewhere. So in order to change the mentality and change the capturing information, you've got to make a system usable, easy to access, easy to get at it, easy to get information so that you can start getting comprehensive information that you normally wouldn't get, especially from a sales organization, so that you can do better processing, better forecasting, and make better business decisions. So usability is number one, and I've always seen it be number one in the criteria. The second thing I want you to think about, too, as you're going forward here, is that, as I mentioned before, Excel being the most popular CRM tool, unlike ERP, you need a way to build invoices. You need a way to do accounts payable. Those users have to use that system. Usability isn't as important, but most companies need those systems even to do invoicing, where you can get away with not having a CRM system for quite a while. So the other hurdle when gathering collaboration and gathering momentum internally on a CRM system is you have to look at people see it as a nice to have, not a must have. And so in order for you to get across that business case, you have to create an internal investment, not just in one division, but multi-divisions. Obviously, the core three being sales, marketing, and customer service, but really convincing them not about the usability as well as the value it's going to bring, because they may see they have already a value in using some classic non-traditional CRM tools like Office and other things as well, because they'll see it as a nice to have, and it's kind of a cost center that if you don't have the money, you don't spend on it. So another thing you're going to have to look at as a hurdle potentially, or as a value, is looking at it as a nice-to-have system. And wouldn't it be nice to have it because then you can make these business decisions. So a couple things about Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2011. As we talked about, there are the three classic areas of CRM. You've got your sales, you've got customer care, customer service, and marketing. And then you have extended CRM or XCRM, or XRM, which Microsoft kind of coined when they brought the product, which we'll talk about in a second, as kind of that fourth tier. And Office could create value in some of the ways you guys are presenting your business cases to look at this product. The idea of XRM is the value of using the tool not only in the classic three areas, but extending it with really minimal customizations, more configurations to manage any kind of relationship you have as a company. For example, QA. I've seen people use it for quality assurance in software companies. Recruiting, managing your employees. I see as employee management. It's very easy to use the application to manage interactions and transactions between other relationships the company has. Partner management, beyond the classic three areas, with relative ease and a lot easier than it might be in your current ERP system from Dynamics. And it comes in three flavors out of the box. Outlook, which is obviously a great leverage for salespeople who live in Outlook in most cases. Browser, which is obviously Internet Explorer. However, the newest version of CRM will be browser independent, so you can use it on Safari, Chrome, Firefox, and of course anybody who has Netscape Navigator can still use it. And of course, mobile devices. It does come with a flat, pretty easy to use, free mobile app. There are ISP partners out there for more extended mobile apps. And the great thing about the application, it comes both in a cloud format and on-premise. You've been using Dynamics ERP, and there's really no cloud option from Microsoft for any of them yet. There are SaaS options where you can go to a partner and host your SL system or your GP system, but there is a cloud system and a cloud pricing and a cloud focus for CRM that's been involved since 4.0 has been released. And there's also an on-premise version, so you can classically still buy it on-premise. The cool thing is both applications are identical. So we have a lot of companies that, based on cash flow, based on scalability, have gone from cloud to on-premise or vice versa, with little effort from a services perspective to move one over to the other. So it's a great option for companies that you can actually go cloud, you can go on-premise, and you can actually move back and forth depending on how your business evolves or grows or scales and how your infrastructure works internally. So the CRM in Microsoft Outlook, I'm going to show you a little bit about, before I open up the demo, how the Outlook works as well. So you see here it's 2010 Office, it's Outlook. You've got your classic left-hand side nav, which we're just below the inbox, and we're now in our CRM system. We have the same entities that are involved in the classic Internet Explorer version. You have your pipeline, your opportunities as well. You can be able to see what's going on in CRM just like you would in your email on the panel side. And the great thing about Outlook, which is the only thing different than Internet Explorer, is that you can track your emails. And I'm not going to be able to show you that because of the Outlook integration in our demo environment, but if you're in Outlook and you have an email from an incoming customer or a prospect or whatever, you can actually, with a simple click of a button, track that email, and every exchange of that email is tracked within the CRM system activity log. So you have better transparency and better familiarity to share accounts between reps that may have left, or to know really what's going on with the customer when you go into that CRM record. But here's the Outlook version of CRM, and it really looks native. And it is very native to the way Outlook works and the way that CRM is going to work for your application. So at this point, let me flip over to our Dynamics CRM environment and talk a little bit about how that would work for your company. So hopefully everybody can see this. Let me just close the QA panel so people can see what's going on. So this is Dynamics CRM within the Internet Explorer version that I'm working with right now. Again, has a very similar look and feel to Office. You have your top-hand ribbon bar here. You have your files. You have your left-hand nav. You've got your Outlook-looking solution sets here. And then you have your main panel. So very similar and very familiar for usability to Office and what's going on. And right out of the box, you notice right away, we have this idea of dashboards, which is really core to CRM and very, very different than role centers and some of the other applications that are available in ERP, but very focused on the user and the user's capability about how they do their job. Dashboards are very successful, especially in the sales organization, to have up-to-minute information, to click through, to make analysis, to make decisions, and make really quick ability to understand customers, even when you're about to go to a meeting or you're just coming back from a meeting as well. A great way to really get involved, and a lot of people use this as the access point to get into the rest of CRM as opposed to using the left-hand nav bar, which is your other option. So this idea of dashboards come out of the box. So out of the box you get 7 dashboards that Microsoft provides for you, but you can create your own dashboard. You can create new charts. You can look at any of the related entities that are allowed within the system, but you have these basic dashboards, which I'll show in a second how you can drill down to as well. And like we talked about, you've got the classic areas of sales, marketing, and customer service here on the left. You have settings, which is more of an administration tab, and then you've got a resource center for some of the extensions that are involved. But this is some of the 3 general areas that we discussed that are involved with here. Right now we're in the workplace, which is basically your idea of a role center or your landing place for most employees. And this is really where you're going to customize your view and how you experience CRM. This is out of the box, so it's got your dashboards. I have activities up here. I can take that off and put something else up here for my work. I can have customers as well and be able to do that. Let me just go into some of the other areas of the system. This is the sales system. So this is out of the box again, the sales. It opens up out of the box to my open leads. But I actually set up my own system to open up to my current opportunities closing in the next 6 months. So there's a lot of ways you can customize. Again, you have these system views that are available. Then you can create a personal view that I'm able to do. So for example, I can create a personal view through this idea called Advanced Find.